Okay, hello YouTube. So, my PlayStation's still working okay after the last video, but it's not working as well. I mean, in this video, of course, it's camera shy, it doesn't want to quit working, but basically it does stick when I want to use it a lot, so, like that. It just gets kind of annoying. So, I know some other people are like that. I know some people don't mind dealing with it, but I do. So, in this video, we're going to show how to transplant the open button from another PlayStation. Preferably the original PlayStation if you're using a newer version, because I noticed the newer PlayStation has a much better built mechanism from all the others. So, I will need to open this up, and we'll take it from there. And basically what you'll need is you'll need a spare PlayStation, dishwashing soap again. You just need a small container you can pour it in this time. And a few Q-tips. That should be enough. Because basically what we're going to do here is we're also going to kind of clean the new parts and clean the opening where you're going to put the button and everything to make sure everything is going to work just fine. So, I did find out my problem probably isn't it being dirty, but probably it being plastic. The original PlayStation has mostly metal parts. So, basically, what I'll be doing is I'm going to transplant it from my dad's broken original PlayStation, which I'll show here in a second, once I get this one open. Alright, so, I've gotten it unscrewed now. This is the good PlayStation. This is my dad's broken original PlayStation. And you can actually tell if they have different kind of buttons. So it has a very different kind of button. Also, if I didn't make this clear in the last video, all you need to open up an original PlayStation is a Phillips head screwdriver. This is just a standard Phillips head screw. It came off the bottom of the PlayStation. So, make sure you keep all your screws together. So, if you look, this works just great. And this is the original PlayStation. As you can see, the orientation of the drive is different from this one. However, the problem in the original one does concern the drive, as it does on Mini. Turning it upside down at one point did help, but at this point, as stated in the previous video, where I said, as a disclaimer, to not mess around with stuff on the inside of your PlayStation, you can see here that I ripped the optical drive power cable off of the main board. Used to be right there at position CN701, but it's completely ripped off now. So, here it is. I'm going to take the other cover off. You can see there's a huge difference on the way it looks on the inside. And here's the different kind of power button right here. It's a little white dot, as opposed to this one where it's a normal toggle switch, like a traditional one that you would see on most devices. Other than that, they're mostly the same. But the actual piece in here looks different, and you can hardly see it, but I believe somewhere in here is the mod chip my dad installed years ago. So, it looks like it might be what's under there, but I can't tell. I really can't, honestly just can't tell. But, as you can see, this is the original model. It's got all of the ports on the back, as opposed to this one where it's got, it's only got these 3. It has a port for the other port. It has a spot for the other port, I mean. As you can see there's a dead bug that was flopping around on this one. It's pleasant. Basically what we're going to do, see, this is the cover for the PlayStation with the sticking drive. It does not fit on an original PlayStation. It should fit on every model but the original. As you can see, it doesn't line up. Same thing with the original drive, or the same thing with the original cover. It will only work on the original. As you can see there, it's because of the orientation of the drives. It's exactly the same otherwise. See, I bet you could probably transplant the power supplies over if you wanted to as well, and I may do that just for the fun of the cool sounding power button, because I like that sound. But also, you'd have to find out the different wattage if they did have different wattage. But, so, this is the ejection mechanisms that started the last video. You can see it's plastic and it's not very sturdy looking, because it isn't very sturdy at all. Over here is the original PlayStation cover, and it is metal, and it looks great. We're going to be taking both of these out of the covers, and yeah, it's gonna be sweet. So let me just take care of all that business, and I'll see you there. Okay, so I've gotten the two ejection mechanisms out. You can see here, oops, this one's very flimsy, right here. I need to tell you something right now. You do not need to take apart the sandwiches to perform a transplant. You can leave them just like they are. But we are going to transplant the buttons as well, so you do need to worry about that. So, there you go on that. This is the old button. And often the button doesn't actually matter, but and here, actually that's the new button, if you get technical like that, but there's another thing that I just now realized. There is actually a spring on the older buttons. Gives it a nice spring. Well, no dirt. Gives it a nice spring. Obviously. So, basically, I probably am at some point going to transplant power supplies just because I like the way this button sounds. Which is pretty funny. That would be the whole reason to transplant the power supply for me. But still, even so, I'm trying to make a good PlayStation that is not my PS1. So, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the case from our PlayStation that's messed up, and we're going to start cleaning it. Get your supplies together. You'll need dishwashing soap, cotton swabs, and I think that's actually it. So there you go. Alright, here we are in my bathroom. My bathroom didn't know I was going to be filming a YouTube video in it, so it wasn't really prepared, but that's okay. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bowl like this. You can use a cup, doesn't really matter what you use, but we're going to fill it up with some water. Really, you probably want it to be pretty strong, so don't put very much in it at all. So you want to get some dishwashing soap in there. Get a Q-tip. I have this nice official Q-tips container. Don't remember where I actually got it, but maybe it came with Q-tips? Possibly, I don't know. But I've had it for years. And I just kept refilling it with Q-tips. So just stir it up with a Q-tip. And it actually does give me a headache. Hopefully it doesn't give a lot of you guys a headache if you do this. So then what you want to do is you just want to take the Q-tip that you just stirred up the soap with, just start kind of rubbing it around inside that power button, or the open button spot. Throw your Q-tip back in there once you do that. And rub it around on the other side of the open button. That's alright, keep accidentally shifting it over to the left. So, that's pretty much as much as you need. If there's anything else you need to clean on the inside of the system, like, it's also probably a good idea to, now that I think about it, clean the plastic, or any plastic that the latch will be colliding with. So, go ahead and clean that. And yes, water's probably going to get on the counter. Water and soap. But that's okay. And just keep cleaning the spots for a while. And eventually, once you get all the spots that the latch has to do with, which is really just around here, then take the other side of your Q-tip. Actually, it might just be a good idea to get a good one. Throw them down there. I'll just throw them down there until I get my trash can back in here. Don't judge me. So, just get a dry Q-tip. Pixel, I know you want in. Start getting a dry Q-tip and kind of start trying to dry this up. Because it smells like one of those bubble exhibits at a children's museum, kind of. Did I say bug exhibits? I meant bubble exhibits, if I said bug exhibits. Just going to dry it off. Now you're going to want to rinse it off. So, I'm going to start the water again. Of course, because there's still some soap in there, you want to rinse it off some. Now you can stop the water. And why there are socks on the counter, I'm at a loss about. And grab a washcloth. And just start kind of drying it off. This works a lot better than paper towels, I've found, because these are a lot more absorbent than any paper towel. Probably should have used one in the normal cleaning video. So if you've seen that video and you use that method a lot, try using a dishcloth instead. I bet it'll work better. I mean, this still needs to dry quite a bit. You don't just want to stick it back in your PlayStation now, because it still really does need to dry. But your cleaning solution that you used, that can just be poured down the sink, like it did in the last video. It's really hard to get that completely dried, so you just probably want to let it air dry for a little bit. Throw my Q-tip down. Pull my solution out. And yeah, you just need to let it air dry and put my Q-tips away. And once you have finished, then you're basically good to go. So, we've taken care of the main cleaning part. We don't really need to clean anything else. Just stick the new parts in there and you're good to go. So, and I will take care of that here in a second. Also, if your PlayStation was missing the spring, this probably just occurred to me. This just occurred to me. My PlayStation may have just been missing a spring. If it doesn't have a spring in the button, try just putting a spring in there. However, I do recommend that if you happen to have a broken original model, you just put the ejection mechanism from that in your PlayStation. Because it's a lot sturdier, it's made out of metal, works better, works smoother, and it just overall is a lot better and not as cheap. So, just a recommendation. So now I'm going to take care of bringing the stuff back into the kitchen. I only did it in my bathroom because my mom got home right when I was about to record the video. So, alright, so see you there. It's always good to shut the door. Anyway, I just now finished drying it off, and I accidentally did a drop test on this camera. It appears to be working just fine still. My memory card popped out, and I'm not sure that the mechanism for keeping the memory card in there really survived. I hope it did, but anywho. We're going to start putting the parts back in now. First, I'm going to put the new open button in. Make sure the spring doesn't fall out. I mean, not that it's really gonna, but squeeze the two parts and push it down in. This one does feel like it has a little bit of a spring to it now. So, now, over here, put in the new mechanism. Pretty simple process. The mechanisms, every mechanism fits on every PlayStation as far as I know. Because see, this is the original system's mechanism, and I'm putting it in the last Fat Generation cover, so oops. This is why it's handy to have a magnetic screwdriver. Because I was able to just lift that out of there, kind of. So, it's very hard to get these screws to go in the metal mechanism for some reason. They're just really tight. So now, we have indeed gotten that down in there. Just start screwing in the mechanism. Oops. Works well, and do this one. Alright, so does have a nice spring to it now. You can hear that spring. Now go ahead and put the sticking mechanism in the donor system. Who cares if the sticking mechanism goes in a system that doesn't work? So, I like to keep my systems original, but this really is going to be a fair trade-off, considering this old PlayStation really, even if and when I do finally get it to work again, this thing isn't going to survive for too much longer anyway. More than likely, it sometimes just freezes to a black screen when you turn it on anyway. So, surprisingly enough, the PlayStation will still operate if there's no optical drive connected whatsoever. You can just only use it for memory card management. Of course, I have no way of seeing if it'll actually still play games, but, you know. So, go ahead and screw the messed up mechanism into the messed up system. It's really hard to do, I'm sorry. Just because you have to worry about the threads getting messed up when you're using the plastic mechanism, so. Now everyone can tell that the plastic mechanism is a lot better. Or, I mean, the metal mechanism is a lot better. That was the opposite of what I meant. So just pop in your open button in the other system. Doesn't actually seem to stick in the other system either. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of encouragement to start working. So as you can see here, my sticking mechanism is working fine on the system that didn't stick. So, interesting. Very interesting. So this is my original system. This should work fine. So, well, I mean, it doesn't work fine anyway, but go and stick the cover on our system we were repairing. And I don't even think I can make it stick. So, go ahead and screw it back together now. And I'll do that real quick. Okay, I went ahead and cut out hooking the thing back up, so we have to deal with what happened last time. So this time we are going to use the original Point Blank to show that the system still works, instead of Point Blank 2. And I'm not going to run out of recording space this time. So, go ahead and stick it in the drive. Power the system on. Okay, the hand strap's bothering me, sorry. Alright, come on. There we go, got it. Come on. There we go. Yes, I would love to load game data. Oops, missed. Go and do a range. See how well I do on criminal spotting. Let's see. There it is. Which one do I want to do? I think I want to do, you know what? Let's just do this one, because probably everyone who plays Point Blank has seen this one. Everyone who's played Point Blank probably has seen every one of them. So, beginner. I can't reach the button, so I'm just going to let it go through. Alright, so. Gotcha. I may have gotten every single one of them. I don't know. So there you go. A little bit of Point Blank gameplay. Missed. There we go. Go ahead and save. Don't know why this game has to load so much. It's kind of annoying, isn't it? Here we go. Just 1 second. Let me see something. See, has an IR blaster in there, but camera's not picking it up. Just curious. Exit. Exit. Go to option, just for the heck of it. So here's option. It's actually 3 options, so I don't know why it says option. Option mode, that's nice. You can be very mean to these guys if you want, so. Keep missing, there we go. So there you have it. This version has CD audio, if you could tell that. So, because when I popped the cover off, the music quit, but the sound still works. Had the system off now. Turn the TV off. And there you go. That's just a quick demo of Point Blank, and also on replacing the ejection mechanism. And how to ensure that it works great. So, there you go. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. If you would like, you can visit the links in the description to see my computer-related blog, my personal blog, and, last but not least, my other channel, where I mainly play video games with friends. Oh, by the way, don't bother trying to click those buttons.